Hi there, my name is June Kahn and welcome to Balance and Flexibility. I'm so glad that you joined me today. Today we'll be choosing a workout that demonstrates and explores exercises that are great for your core, that improve your flexibility, that improve your balance, and improves your overall joint range of motion. We'll need very few props for this workout. You'll need a chair, as you see behind me. I have it set up that you can sit. In this workout today, we're going to attempt to transition from seated to standing. For those that would like to stay seated, I will give you all those options that you need. In addition, you will need a prop, just one prop. You either will need a ball, which I have right here, a little inflatable ball. And it's okay if you don't have a ball, because you could also utilize a roll of toilet paper that I can put right between my knees, or you can also use a roll of paper towels. So if those household items are easier for you to use, feel free to use those. I'm going to put the ball over here until we finish our warm-up, and we're going to get started. Are you ready? I am excited to share this with you. So we're going to take a seat in a chair, and while you're sitting in the chair, I want you to sit in the middle of the chair to begin. So we will be moving from edge of chair to middle of chair to the back of the chair. In addition, we're also going to be coming to the side of the chair for some exercises as well. So we're going to begin seated, and we're going to do a couple of exercises, and then we're going to bring the ball right into play. So in this position, I want you to focus just on your breath right now. And when I say your breath, if you've done some of my previous workouts, you know that we have explored diaphragmatic breathing. So breathing in through your nose, exhaling out either through your nose or through your mouth, but making sure that that breath is coming from the diaphragm, from the center of your body. So let's just place our hands on our thighs comfortably. Feet are flat on the floor. Your feet are about hip width apart. And you want to make sure that you can feel the pad of your big toe, the pad of your pinky toe, and the pad of your heels. You can note that I do have sneakers on, but to be honest, you really don't need to wear footwear for this workout if you choose not to. I do think that it's good for the lateral support that it affords you, so that when you're standing, it gives you just a little bit more arch support. So sitting here, we're just going to take a deep breath through our noses, inhale, and then I want you to exhale. Let's do that again. Nice deep breath in, and exhale. And while we know that breathing is kind of a natural process, I really want you to focus on what you're doing by breathing in through your nose, feeling the breath expand throughout the body, and then as you exhale, feel what's happening. Really focus on what's happening to your body. As I inhale, I can feel it's like a balloon blowing up from side to side. And then as I exhale, it's like I let the air out of the balloon and it's gradually going away. I'm going to do one more of those. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, and then together, let's place our hands around the side of our body. We're going to take a deep breath in again, inhale, and then exhale. Again, your choice, whether it's through your nose or through your mouth. We're going to finish with one more. And then exhale, nice job. We're going to just kind of release it out, shake out the arms a little bit, and kind of just do some shoulder shrugs here. And then do one on your left side, and then on your right side. Give me both again, up and down, and then left and right. And how about we add a little circle here? So let's take the shoulder blade and roll it back. Notice how my elbow is lifting a little bit, so that I'm getting a little more motion through the entire arm. I'm gonna do one more on each side. You can join me if you haven't already. Nice job, perfect. Take a deep breath in again. Exhale that breath out. Now, if you have your ball handy, I'm going to take that ball, I'm going to place that ball, still sitting in the middle of our chair. It's going to come between my knees. Take note, it's not at the knee joint. It's above the knee joint so that it's the muscles of my inner thighs that are pressing against this ball. So let's just try a couple of squeezes. You're going to squeeze in, and you're going to let it go. Perfect. So that gentle squeeze is allowing us to turn on not only those inner thigh muscles, but those pelvic floor muscles, which are a very important part of your core. Awesome. Now I'm going to ask you to have a breath with us. Exhale as we squeeze the ball. Inhale, release it. Good. Going to do that again. Exhale, squeeze the ball. Inhale, release it. I bet you can feel some muscles turning on here, right? Beautiful. Awesome. We have one last one. Lovely. Now, we're going to take this ball and I'm going to place it behind our back. So it's going to go between my shoulder blades. So I'm placing it up high on the ball. That means I've got to maneuver my seat back a little bit so I'm against the ball, right? So it kind of gives you the opportunity to feel the body being a teeny bit unstable, which is what we want. We want to be able to challenge those proprioceptors in our body to be aware of what's going on, so it turns on those core muscles to work in everything we're doing. So this gives us a little bit more than just sitting upright in a chair. It brings a whole certain element of awareness to what we're doing. So hands are on our thighs right here, and we're going to just press the back into the ball. Be careful that you're not curling your tailbone under yet. I want you to sit nice and tall and find that nice extension through your spine. So with my hands here, I'm going to drop my shoulders, so I'm creating lots of distance between my shoulders and my ears. And as I inhale, I'm going to lift my eyes towards the ceiling. I'm going to feel a mild extension in my spine. Now drop your shoulders and then also feel as if you're pulling the shoulder blades together. Great. Then we're going to come back to where we started. It's a very subtle movement. You really can feel that though, right? Take a deep breath in again. We're extending the spine on the inhale, gazing the eyes up to the ceiling, and then coming back down. We're going to try that one more time. Breath in. All the way up, inhale. And then exhale. Now we're going to start to work the lower portion of the torso to work and stretch out the lower back muscles. So hands can either be here on your thighs or here on your chair, whichever you choose. I'm going to place my hands on the outside of my chairs. The only reason why is I like to press the heels of my hands into the chair to make me feel like I'm growing a little taller. So I'm going to take an inhale, and as I exhale, I'm going to pull the belly button in towards my spine, and then let my tailbone roll under, and notice how my spinal column rounds. Try not to move the neck. Let the head and neck just move naturally. Then as I inhale, I lift up and open up my heart. I'm going to do that again. Take a deep breath in. And as I exhale, I'm going to round the spine, pulling the abdominal muscles inward as I exhale, feeling the tailbone roll under a little. Then as I inhale, lifting my heart up. I'm going to do one more of those. Take a breath in. Exhale, round through the spine. This should feel really good because it gives you the opportunity to feel that lower back stretch. Such a nice relief for the lower back. Sit back upright. Feel you've got both hips anchored on the mat. And I'm going to place our hands again, well, I shouldn't say again, on the outside of the chair. So not just here. I do want you to have some support here. So I'm actually grabbing the seat of the chair. I'm going to open up my heart, feeling I'm pulling my shoulder blades together rather than rounding my body forward. So lift up, and I'm going to shift my ribs over to the left side. And the ball is going to move a little bit towards my right. Come back to the center. I'm going to shift sideways. So what we're doing here is we're getting those oblique muscles on the sides of our body to move side to side. Here we go. We're almost there. Come back. Perfect. Now we're going to add a little breath to that. So we're going to start to our right side. So take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, shift laterally sideways to the right side. Come back to the center. One key point I want to bring out. Make sure you're keeping your weight equal on both sides of your hips. So as I shift to the right, I want to avoid lifting my hip. I want to push that hip down. So you know you've gone too far if that hip starts to come out. Right? So take a breath in. As you exhale, shift to the other side. Oh. I love this one. It kind of feels good. Lets me feel my shoulders open up. I feel the muscles in my torso that support me upright while I'm standing up and help me move side to side. This is a really lovely exercise, one of my favorites. Now if we combine what we did before, let's take that extension. So extend to the ceiling. Perfect. That's your inhale. And as we exhale, let's round the spine. Remember, you want to keep the space between your chin and your chest the same. We're lifting up. Now we're going to go side to side. Let's go to our right side. Shift right. And coming back to the left. Try not to lift the hip. We're going to do that one more time. You ready? Round and inhale, extend through your spine, lifting. Shoulder blades pull together. And as I exhale, I round, draw the belly into the spine, allow the tailbone to roll under. Feel your body create the letter C. And then we come back up. We take a breath. We shift to the right side. And then we come back to the center and we twist. Not twist, shift. I meant shift. Twist is what we're going into next. So carefully, move away, from the chair, pull the ball out from your back, and place that ball just like we did before. We may have to scoot a little bit forward because we want that ball to be above that knee joint. Feet flat on the ground, sitting nice and tall. Perfect. Now we're going to keep our feet just about as wide as our knees. Really important here. We're going to place our hands at our heart. So I'm crossing my left arm on my right shoulder and my right arm on my left shoulder. And I want you to think tall, sit tall. So I'm going to take a nice twist. And as I'm twisting, I'm going to exhale and pull on the shoulder blade. Or let's not say pull. Let's use the word lead with my right shoulder blade. So take an inhale. And as I exhale, I twist, leading with my right shoulder blade back. Coming back to the center. I'm going to do that again. Take a deep breath in. As I exhale, I twist. Come back to center. I'm going to do the same thing on the left side. Now left shoulder blade pulls back. Then it comes back to the center. Do it again. Pull it back. Come back to center. Right side. Let's go. Pull back. And come back center to the right side again. Pulling back. Come back to center. Now I go left. Pull it back. And come back center one more time. Beautiful. We got it. Nice job. Ball stays here. Watch my change. I'm going to take my arms out in front. I'm going to pull my elbow back. And I'm going to reach the arms front. Pulling the elbow back. What does this look like to you? It looks like a bow and arrow, right? That's exactly what I call this, bow and arrow. Pull. So now as I pull, I'm going to add a lean to each side. Here we go. Squeeze that ball. Squeeze. And I'm doing a little lean now. So I'm working those oblique muscles. Doing a seated twist, but a little bit differently now. I'm getting a little bit of range of motion, and we can even add on to this. So if you feel like you have had the ability to go a little bit further, you can join me. So I'd like you to watch me first. So whichever way I'm going, so my elbow's going to the right, I'm going to extend out my left leg. That lets me go up a little bit, and my hip does come up a little bit here. Then I'm going to come back to the center and pull this way. Now keep in mind, you can just keep it here and just shift side to side. You're still getting the benefit of that exercise. But if I start to now lift and extend the toes, lifting the toes, extending out. Great. I love this one. This feels really good. Just pull and come back. And then pull and then come back one more time. So we're getting a little bit of both spinal flexion on our side, or we call it lateral flexion, as well as rotation here. It's really good. Awesome. It looks great. We have one more. Beautiful. And release. Nice job. So I'm going to keep this ball right between my knees, and I'm going to scoot even further forward. So the edge of my chair is right at the upper portion of my thighs, and my feet are directly underneath my heels. I'm going to sit as tall as I can here, placing my hands on top of my thighs. Should you need more support, of course, just grab that chair. That's going to give you a little bit more support. So whatever works best for you. Watch me on this first one. It's pretty easy. So all we're really going to do is lift our heels up and then push the heels down. We're going to do that again. Lift those heels up, push the heels down, and again, lifting the heels up, pushing the heels down. Now reverse that. Lift both toes up and then come down. We're going to do that again. Lift both toes. Perfect. And again, then let's take the heels. We're going to go heels, push down, and the toes, lifting up. Good job. Now I'm going to do this a little bit faster. Watch. I'm going to lift, and join me when you're ready. Or if you want to go slow, keep it slow. This just adds a little bit of rhythm, but along with the rhythm, it allows us to move the muscles a little bit quickly, because this prepares your muscles when you have to do something and react very quickly. Two more. Lift. And we have one more here, last one here. Now if you want to try just this alternating heel lift, let's go. One heel, push it down. Then the other heel, push it down. Now notice what's happening here. Can you feel when that knee lifts? We get a little bit more action from the thigh, and we get a little bit more action from the calf when we do one at a time. When we do both, we're working what we call bilateral. Let's try both. Lift, nice, you got it. One more time here. Last one. Perfect. Now, we're going to pause right here. I want you to watch me on this next one. So with your feet flat on the ground, you're going to hinge forward and hinge back. This is the preparation we're going to do to start to stand up. Remember, as I said, for those of you that don't want to stand, I'm going to give you seated options. So come forward and come back. Exhaling as we come forward, inhale back. We have 2 more. Forward, squeeze that ball so you're getting the effort of those muscles on the inner thighs. Now hands are coming to your side here. You're going to join me. Let's come forward. If you have already joined me, you get a few more repetitions. But if you're just joining me now, we're going to do 2 more of these. Here comes one. I'm exhaling as I'm going forward. Inhaling as I'm coming back. 1 more. And I'm working the torso stabilizers here as I move forward, as my hips go back and forth. Now, I'm going to slide my heels back just a tiny bit. And I'm going to come forward, take a breath. And as I exhale, heels here, lift off. And then come back down and relax. You ready to join me? Come forward. Lift off, come back down. We're going to do 2 more of these. Come forward, lift off, come back down. Ready? 1 more. Now, for those of you that are going to stand up with me, watch me first. For those of you that are going to sit on the chair, you're going to continue with that little lift. All right, we ready? Here we go. To come forward, exhale. I'm going to lift, pause, hold, stand up tall, aim your butt to the chair, sit back down. I'm going to do that again. Forward, exhale. Remember, if you're staying seated, you're just staying with that little lift. And come back with 2 more of these. Forward, standing up, coming back. And make sure that you're keeping the weight into your heels. Come forward, stand up. Last one, come back and down. Now, for those of you that are going standing up with me, we're going to stay standing up. For those of you that want to sit on your chair, you're just going to stay on the chair and join us for some of the exercises. What we do standing up is what you're going to be doing seated in your chair, and I'll come down and demonstrate it well again. So, you ready? So, for those of you seated, 1 more lift. For those of you coming with me, stand up tall. Great. And now take the ball from between your knees. Those of you on the chair, keep that ball between your knees. And I'm going to turn my chair sideways a little bit, so that we can use this chair as something to hold on. So whether you're on your chair or whether you're seated, the ball is between your knees with your feet facing forward. Make sure the weight is on all 4 corners of your feet. Great. So those of you on the chair, ready? It's going to hinge forward, so are we. So we're going to go into a mild squat. Sit down, stand tall, hinge forward. If you want to come off your chair a little bit, you can, or just hinge forward and back. 2 more down. I'm squeezing the ball. Stand up tall. Squatting is very important. We need to do this. 1 last one. Beautiful. Now, from here, those of you on the chair, I'm going to ask you to hinge forward. And while you're hinging forward, you're lifting your heels. Those of you standing up, you're going to stand nice and tall. Heel lifts, 1 leg. Beautiful. We're just doing 1 leg. We're going to do 4 more, 8 on 1 leg. 2 more to go. Notice those of us that are standing and seated, that ball moves a little bit. Now, same thing. Come back tall. If you're seated, sit upright for a moment. Those of you that have just finished the side, think tall. Push the heels into the ground. Open up your heart. Ready? We're going to do the other leg. So those of you that are seated, you're going to hinge forward slightly and lift your heel. Make sure you're keeping your torso lifted so that your shoulder blades are pulling back. Lift and lower. We have 4 more. Here comes 1. Push down. And 2. And 3. And then 4. Whether you're seated or you're standing, we stand tall. Push the heels into the ground. Hold. You got it. This looks great. Now, what we're going to do next is, whether you're seated, you're just going to sit upright while you're sitting in your chair, and we're going to take the arm to your shoulder. We're just going to lift up the arm and extend the body back just a little bit, and then bring it back down. We're going to do the same thing. So you're just seated on the chair, reach back. Notice how this affects your balance. It's just a little prep, because we're going to take the outside leg. Those of you standing, the outside leg, 1 leg is going to go back, just like this. Right? And then what we're going to do is lift the heel and stand back down. Lift the heel. So those of you sitting on the chair, watch me as I'm just moving 1 leg back a little bit. Right? So I'm just lifting the heel up and down. Push that heel up and down. I want to make sure that heel can stay on the ground. And then you'll be doing the same thing on the other side. So those of you that are standing, it's the same thing. Heel coming up, coming down, right, with that leg a little bit behind. So lift. So I'm getting a little bit of a different action for the calf muscle. Beautiful. Now we're going to switch. If you're seated, bring your feet together. If you're standing like me, you're stepping back. Ready? And lift. So now we're getting a little bit more action for that calf muscle. It also affects our balance. Can you let go? You got it. One more. Beautiful. Awesome. Hold here now. We're going to bring our feet together, right? Even if you're seated. Now I want you to take your hand to your shoulder, and we're going to bend sideways and come up. Awesome. We're going to bend sideways, lateral flexion, keeping that elbow by your side. Lift. Now if you want to take the arm away and just bend sideways, you can as well. And come back. 2 more of these. We go here, and we come back up. You have 1 more. Now we also can make this a little bit challenging by placing the hand here, but make sure the shoulders drop down, heart is open, and we bend. Now we can do this to the other side, right? We can keep the hand here, or I can move the chair to the other side, which is what I'm going to do for you guys on this side. So if you're in your chair, you're still the same. We're just changing sides now. Ready? So the hand went here, right? We stepped back, we leaned back first to get a little extension here. We come back, bringing the legs together, and then we turn sideways and come back. Stretch sideways and back. Stretch sideways. We have 1 more. And I'm pushing the weight into my opposite foot here. Then if we want to take the arm this way and go over, or we can take the arm to a goal post. Or we can take it to here, ready, and stretch side, keeping pressure on that ball. Nice. Back and forth. You feel how that works, going side to side. Awesome. We have 1 more. Great job. I'm going to move my chair back to the side here, and we're going to take the ball from between our legs, and we're going to go into a standing hip flexor stretch. So those of you that are standing, watch me, and then you're going to continue with some reps while I show what we're doing in the chair. So I'm going to put the ball between my knees again and step back. 1 leg first, and then I'm going to stand as tall as I can. 1 hand on the chair, and I'm going to lean back and stretch. But this time my arm is going to reach out in front, and I'm going to lift up with the arm. Mild back extension. Notice how slow I'm going. I want to make this a nice stretch, very effective. If this is too high to go, bend the elbow and lean back and come forward. Now if you want to add a little bit of a cross your body here, you're going to continue for 2 more reps. Those of you in the chair, you're going to sit with your leg back here, right, a little bit over to the side. So you're going to remove the ball if you're on the chair. We come to here, support your thigh on your chair, take your hand and lift up. Now, again, if this is too much, what we do is go back here. And as those standing, the arms come across. If you're still here, you have those options, right? Ready? I'm going to give you the opportunity to do 2 more on each, and then we're going to switch sides, switch sides. Right? So if you're in your chair, you're going to keep the ball between your knees. If you're standing, you're going to bring the leg from here and bring it back and switch, right? So now the arm is going to come up. If you want to move the chair to the other side, you may, because let's try to balance here. Here we go. So reaching back and coming forward. Chair is here if you need it. Lifting back and coming forward. Same thing. Remember, the arm comes out if you're on your chair. You're leaning back. You have moved over to the other side of the chair to support yourself. Let's do 4 more. Here comes 4. And come forward. And then 3. And forward. 2 more. 1 last one. Beautiful. And then we're going to take the ball from between our knees if you're standing, and we're all going to transition back to that seated position. So if you're on your chair, you're already there. How are we going to do that? ball is going to come between your knees. So get close to that chair. Ready? Those of you that are seated, just bear with us as we take our seat into our chair. Weights in our heels, grab the chair and have a seat. Beautiful. We're going to keep the ball between our knees. We're going to do a little squeeze and release. Squeeze and release, 2 more. One last one, sitting nice and tall. We're going to take the ball and put it between our elbows now. Bring your legs together now so you've got a nice. And here's where my arms are. And notice how this looks sideways. So I'm squeezing the ball between my elbows. I'm going to raise my elbows to my nose. Squeeze and lift. So I'm going to disappear. My face will disappear for a moment. Lift up. And come down. Notice how we get to work the back of the arms, but get to increase a little bit of flexibility in the torso. Nice and tall. And come down. 2 more, please. One last one. Then keeping your feet together, we're going to rotate to one side. Twist. Coming back. And again. Twist. And coming back. You have one more. Let's twist. And come back. And last one. Perfect. Now this time take the ball. What we want to do is separate to hip width apart. And on the chair, we're going to hinge forward. One ball, the ball comes to the side, come to the center. Let's reach for the ankle. Down, and then lift, and then down. Keep your hips anchored, and again, a little faster. Here we go. Down, and lift. Now, how far you go down is completely up to you, but we're trying to get a little bit of a rotation in the torso using the ball as kind of a target. So I'm targeting to touch my heel here. Got it. 2 more of these. We've got 1, and then 2. Excuse me, that's still 1. This is 2. So feel that stretch on the side. Perfect. That was awesome. Beautiful. We're going to put the ball down by our feet here. I'm going to sit for a moment. I'm going to have you come to the edge of your chair. What we're going to do is attempt to do a figure 4 stretch to cool it down. So I'm going to take my heel of my foot here, on here. If this is not comfortable for you, and all you need to do is turn the hip out for me. Make sure this leg is up, but this hip out is that way. And just gently press out. But for those of you that can bring this up on top of your knee, sit nice and tall, you really start to feel that stretch over to the side. And you're going to hinge forward. Can you feel that stretch? Come back up. If you're here, here's your position. Come forward again and gently press this so hip open. You got it. And then you come back up. Awesome. I'm going to do 1 more. To here, flex your foot, hinge forward. Nice. Bring it back. 1 more time, hinge forward. Remember, if that leg is at that ankle, that's fine. So I've just had a knee replacement, so I have to be careful. Notice how I can get it up there, but I have to be careful that I keep my ankle joint flexed so that I'm not creating any issues with the knee joint. So you're either here stretching forward. Notice I have to hold on to my foot. You may not have to. If you're down in this position, just like we did the other side, this knee is straight up, but this one's turned out. We're gently pressing and hinging forward and coming back. Beautiful. Or you're back to here, whichever works for you. Hinging forward, and then bring that ball back up to your back. And then think of what we started with before. Ready? Take a deep breath in, and as you inhale, you extend through your spine. And then as you exhale, you round through your spine. We come up again, lift. And come back to center and through. We have 1 last one here. And release. Doesn't that feel good having that ball behind there? You can take that ball away. I'm going to stand up. If you'd like to stand up and join me as well. Remember, we're hinging forward and stepping up. I'm just going to give my goodbyes here and my thanks. I so want to thank you for joining me again today for this wonderful workout. We did a little bit of challenging things here, going from seated to standing, but that is so important because that's what we do in daily life. We want to make sure we have the opportunity to train our muscles to do that, and we did just that. And by also including the ball, we had the opportunity to focus on proprioception and really get those pelvic floor muscles to work again. So make sure that you're hydrated. So if you didn't drink any water now, make sure you get to drink some water, because that hydration is going to allow for you to stay energized, but even more than that, it helps eliminate muscle soreness. So I do hope you'll join me again. It's such a pleasure to work with you and share these experiences with you. I want you to love to move your body, because there's nothing better than moving your body every day to make you feel energized, youthful, and young at heart. So, till next time.